Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of God Built This Podcast. I'm your host Maxine, and we're on episode 127. There's so much on this docket. Let's begin. I want to start off with these new Texas laws that have been passed thanks to Governor Abbott. I sound like a damn Republican. Thanks to Governor Abbott. First of all, he's on a wheelchair. I guess that makes sense. He's always been sitting down. But he has passed a couple of new laws. I'm going to focus on a few of them and just share my thoughts, of course. So Roe versus Wade, of course, that is not overturned yet. We'll see what happens with that because every few years or every few months at least, it was just, I want to say it was just 2019. I was on a rampage of just sharing my thoughts on this possibly being overturned. There was a lot of media coverage going on about Roe versus Wade, and the Supreme Court may overturn it. And a lot of southern states seem to have restricted or actually banned abortions, like Alabama and some other states that I saw during that time that was banning actually from people from having abortions. And look, child, it's so funny. I've had a change of heart, y'all. I've had a change of heart. And, you know, if you've been listening to me since then, you'll know then I was really sharing my passionate beliefs on why you should get an abortion, or not like you should, but why you should be allowed to if you so choose, right? I've said if you don't want an abortion, right, if you don't believe in abortion, then you don't get an abortion. So what is it to you? And I'm very defensive about it because I'm someone who I harp on and I stand for freedom. Freedom is really my strong point. It's the hill that I will continue to climb. If whatever, it could be anything. If you are restricting me from my freedom, from my right, from my personal freedom, from my own choice to do whatever I choose to do for my well-being, for my body, for my financial well-being, whatever that looks like, I am for freedom. And at that time, I was for freedom. I was for abortion because I saw it as your right, your freedom to do what you so choose to do with your body. And now I changed my mind. I have a change of heart. And my change of heart does not come from a space of religion. Is definitely not from there. I know I grew up in a religious household and I believe in God and believe in Jesus Christ. Like, I do have that foundation, but that is not why my heart has been changed. My heart has been changed because I think about more of the history of how Planned Parenthood began. And yes, I know Planned Parenthood is more than abortion. They do health care services like abortion. No, but there are other things that Planned Parenthood do provide. I absolutely agree. I've gone, like, you could go there for STD testing, whatever it is. You can get other services at Planned Parenthood. But when I was getting more aware of just the origin of Planned Parenthood and how it started with this white woman who really wanted to kill off the black race, the black community, and just, yeah, you know, you could evolve. I do believe that you can, yeah, it could start off evil in a way, but you can progress into something that is more freedom-based, I guess. But I think more so about just the target that Planned Parenthood and just abortion has, because Planned Parenthood is known for their abortions. Like, let's just be very honest. You don't go to the doctors, not to say there's no doctors in Planned Parenthood, but you don't go to an actual hospital to get an abortion. No, you go down the street. You go to your cousin who knows the right tea to brew, okay? You go to somebody a little bit low key. When I went to Planned, I've never gotten an abortion, just disclaimer in case you're new here. I never got an abortion, but I've been to Planned Parenthood, and I remember driving there because why did I go? I went there because I noticed my pee was just like uncomfortable. I'm like, oh, what the fuck is going on? Well, that fucking somebody it just was uncomfortable when I was peeing. It ended up being bacteria vaginosis, which is a very common infection that women would get sometimes, and it's just basically an imbalance of bacteria. Just, hey, healthcare time. But that's what it was. But I remember driving there and seeing how closed off it was. Like, the windows were closed, and shit, I couldn't even see the sign. Like, is this Planned Parenthood? Like, I had to go through a secret code door. It's like, I'm being dramatic. But basically, it was very low key. Yes, there was a sign that said Planned Parenthood, but it wasn't in your face, basically. And I remember driving and then parking, and it just felt uncomfortable. And I'm driving and I'm going inside. I know that I'm not going in here for an abortion, right? I know that I'm not pregnant. I know that I'm not walking in here with this belly and I'm trying to get rid of it. No, like that. I know that. But I still felt this uneasiness about walking in there. I'm looking around. I'm feeling like, oh my gosh, what are they looking at me? And just immediately feeling like being judged or possibly judging other people at that time too. Like, are you here to kill your baby too? This type of thing. Even though I knew I wasn't pregnant. Like, obviously I wasn't pregnant, but sometimes I just like get myself wrapped up in my thoughts, and I think that something's happening in front of me when it's actually not, and it's just me in my mind creating these scenes. But I share that because it's low key. It's very low key, and it's known for its abortions. And you don't go to an actual hospital. You don't go to the ER to get rid of your baby. And more of the reason why I have a change of heart is that I think about just a black family here in America and in general, and just the images that I've been seeing about black families on TV, just in the media overall. I see a lot of, and I talked about this before, but I see a lot of non-fully black families in the media. I see a lot of blackish types of families. So we blackish, we mixedish, and it's taken away from blackness. It's taken away from the fullness of black. Not to say you can't be a black man or a black woman with a non-black partner. Of course you can, but I'm tired of seeing y'all. Hello? Every commercial I see is this ambiguously mixed woman with a clearly black man. And that, of course, rubs me the wrong way because I am interested in black men. I'm not interested in black women, right? So I see it as, oh, wow, this black man, and yes, it's just an ad, and yes, it's just a commercial, but I see it as this black man is continuously finding more attraction and more giving more attention towards non-black women or exotic, quote unquote, looking women. And it just these types of images just really seeps into your psyche. It makes you, especially if you're easily influenced, not to say I'm not easily influenced, but sometimes I just receive these messages and I look at just the state of the world that we're in and how they continuously put forth to us images of either a broken black family, or a mixed black family, and you don't see enough of a fully black man with a fully black woman. So that just rubs me the wrong way. And yes, when you look outside, when you're in your environment, in your surroundings, you may see more images of more actual relationships of people who are black and they're in black relationships, like their partner is black and all of these things. But why isn't that being reflected in the media? Why is that? And it bothers me because it's putting on this push this target to now not continue what you see in your day-to-day, right? You may naturally see a black man with his black woman, but in the media, you don't see that enough. At least I don't see that enough. And you will have to search for it to find it. And that just bothers me. So when I think about abortion and just the push that it has had from the origin of Planned Parenthood, and how the woman who, let me look that up real quick, because Planned Parenthood origin, woman who hated blacks. That's how I type things in. But okay, yeah, so eugenics, that's the term. Margaret Sanger. So she was the one who founded Planned Parenthood, and she was a racist white woman. And her racism has been the move to have more black babies killed, more black children terminated before they could even step into this world and create their own legacy. So this change of heart didn't come lightly. And again, it's not to say that, and it's not coming lightly, because I still believe in freedom. So I think about it as, well, I don't like other people, especially men, telling me what to do with my body. So that's just one. But no, that's just one. So period. That's the end of the sentence. That's it. The episode's over. No. So I don't like that. What I also don't like, though, is sometimes the frivolous nature that is had when women who, whether it's promiscuity or not, women who decide to go ahead and have an abortion. And this bothers me. And you can still do whatever you want, right? I'm not, like, when I change, this is my own personal belief. It's not for me to go ahead and stand in front of Planned Parenthood and tell you you're going to hell and, you know, babies deserve to live. I don't do what you want with your body. So I still stand with freedom. But I also just feel like if we created a world that really harped on the importance of sex and being mindful of who we lay with, who we allow to enter our body as women, then we would not have more cases of abortion. And yes, there are cases of abortion that is done when you are violated, when you are raped and assaulted, and you're put in a position where your choice was taken away from you, right? Your right, your freedom was taken away from you at that moment, and now you are pregnant. I can't tell you what to do, and I'm still, whether you were in that situation or not, I'm still not going to tell you what to do with your body. So that's not where I'm coming from, but I understand someone's desire to go ahead and terminate that pregnancy. But what I am speaking for is for the women who may have had one too many, were reckless, and didn't consider protecting themselves while having sex. And this is all, I'm saying all this with as much care. I'm talking very calmly, y'all. You may notice a difference in my tone because I'm saying this with so much care in my voice, because I understand both sides. I understand why one may go ahead and think that this is the best choice for them. But I want us to live in a world that really talks about why it's important that we are mindful of who we lay with. We live in a sex-filled world, and you know that whole saying of sex sells. And yeah, it does sell, but can we talk about why sex is a spiritual exchange between you and the other person? Can we talk about why it's important to to know who you're bringing into your energy, into your space? Can we talk about the downloads that you receive when you allow someone to come into you and that person is unhealed and unhealthy? And like, can we talk about that too? Before we even get to pregnancy, before we even get to niggas coming inside of you, can we talk about why it's not okay to have men fuck you and they are still filled with unhealed trauma? Can we talk about that? Hello? I remember this TBT, but you know, I gotta bring him up for reference. Boston Bay. Y'all know how traumatic this man was. Very traumatic. Grew up in a traumatic ass household and childhood. And that is a story for many people, right? Not to say that we don't have, like, we all have our own traumas. We all have something that we have either struggled with and it has shaped our lives. But for the most part, many people choose to move forward and choose happiness, choose peace. Boston Bay did not. He does not. And sometimes I remember when I was with him, he would try to appear, or at least, I don't know, like he would try to act like he's good, but he's really not good. And this may be the story for many black men as well, especially men who grew up the way he grew up. So I just think about just those type of niggas, right? Now, I don't advise women to sleep with men like that. Regardless if they have, like, and you know how I think he has a mental disease and he's like crazy and all these things are true too. Like, you shouldn't sleep with anyone who's crazy. How about that? How about if you think he has an ounce of a disorder? Bye, Miss American Pie. Like, it's not gonna work out. But going back to what I'm saying, if someone is still filled with unhealed trauma, if someone is still talking about the shit that they went through and how mad they still are from it, you know, we could always, you know, I like talking about stuff. I like talking about history. Let's talk about your past. Let's talk about your childhood. That's totally fine. But are you still mad? Oh, okay. Oh, you are? Are you still projecting how your father abandoned you and now you want to control everything I do? Oh, okay. Are you still showing me your fear of, like, are you still projecting these traumatic wounds onto me, who is not someone from your childhood, but you haven't healed from that. You haven't done the work to heal from it. So you're still walking around as this hurt boy. Are you still a hurt boy? Don't sleep with hurt boys, y'all. That's really the point of my message here. And when we get to a point where we realize, okay, this nigga is not only he's crazy, but oftentimes you're crazy because you're unhealed. You're crazy because you're still living in the past. That's why you're crazy. You're crazy because you still talking to your little self, and you're still operating from that 12-year-old child that you once were, and you still remember and play out that time when dad didn't pick you up from basketball practice. You had to walk home in the rain. That's why you're still crazy. You're still crazy because of that. You haven't let it go. You haven't learned how to move forward. You haven't taken the steps to move forward. So when we, as women, not to say there's no men listening, hey y'all, but when women are engaging, and even not even on some sex tip, we'll talk about that even deeper in a moment, but even in just a emotional intimacy time, just on some, you're letting him in your space, you're going into his space, like physically, you're going to his home and vice versa, spending a lot of time with each other. You're building an intimacy with someone and you're noticing patterns of unhealed trauma. It is not your place to psychoanalyze them. You know, I always do that, but I'm advising y'all not to do that. But it's not your place to do that, because yes, that emotional intimacy will begin, it will grow, and then you will think, well, naturally, if you're emotionally intimate with someone, you're going to move to the next step in sexual intimacy. And now you are allowing someone who is still a 12-year-old boy nut inside of you? I'm sorry, does that make sense? That is pedophilia. No, but it's really fucked up. It's really fucked up, and you shouldn't do that. And I think when we are just like allowing any old Bob Schmo, you know, Craig or Nancy come inside of us. I don't know, Nancy could come inside of you. But either way, the point is there should be more messages in the world, in society, regarding how sacred sex is. Now, because we don't have that, that is why abortion is happening. That is why, well, what about rape? What about, we're not talking about that right now. That's not what I'm trying to say right now. But even then, if we live in a world, but again, I'm going into this whole, if we live in a world, I'm very idealistic, and I like to talk about stuff like in the bigger picture, but ultimately that's how I see things, and that is one of the new laws that Abbott has passed. Let's go back to the laws. So that's one of them. Roe versus Wade. Did I just say that? Okay, yeah. Yeah, so that was a Roe versus Wade trigger law. And it is a bill that was passed to outlaw abortions if Roe versus Wade was overturned. So only if the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade, then in Texas, abortions will be banned. Piggybacking off of that, the heartbeat bill has been passed, and it prohibits abortions in Texas as early as 6 weeks. And this is usually the time frame when women don't even know that they are pregnant, so they can't make the decision until after they know. And even if they wanted to make that decision, they couldn't. Now, look, if you really wanted to, go to another state. But it's probably not that easy. Not everyone has that privilege to just travel. I get that. Look, I'm saying these thoughts out loud. I'm understanding other positions and perspectives on the matter. I remember, because I'm going back to how I felt a year ago about this, and years prior. When I tell you I was an advocate for abortion. I guess I was. I really was, because it was more so because like I said, I am very much an advocate for your personal freedom, your personal right, your choice. Give me a choice. Just give me that choice. Now, and I'm still for that. Still, I support you and your choice. Whatever that choice is, it is your choice, and I support you having a choice. Just like I hate censorship. I don't like this whole PC culture that we're in. I don't like that certain leaders cannot have access to social media. Like, even when Trump got banned from Twitter, I didn't like that either. I'm not a Trumper. Let me make that very clear. I know sometimes it may feel like as if I am. I promise you I'm not. But I am for freedom. I am for speaking your mind. I am for the freedom of speech, right? All of freedom to choose, freedom to act. And yes, there are consequences that will be had, positive or negative, depending on your behavior. But overall, don't take away my choice. That is my position for it. So the heartbeat pill takes away the choice to terminate your pregnancy as early as 6 weeks. And this is, again, not the time. This is the time when some women, this is before the time that some women know that they're pregnant. Because usually, what's 6 weeks? 6 weeks is about a month and 2 weeks into the new month. Child, I think, again, we need to change the messages in this world overall. We need to have different conversations, and not conversations about the end result. Let's talk about the the beginning, before we even get to you have an abortion, let's talk about why it's important to not sleep with an unhealed nigga. Let's go there. Like, that's really the root of it all. Like, let's talk about why it's important to have healthy relationships. And I remember one of my arguments was, because I'm speaking to myself at this point, because I remember how I felt, and Maxie, I'm still here. No, but I remember how I felt, and I said how, well, the people who are voting against abortion are acting as if that they care about the life inside of me and that's growing in me. But as soon as the life is born into this world, there are no resources, no opportunities, no possibilities for me to provide for this life, for me to live a fruitful and prosperous life. Instead, there are bills, there are laws, there are things that are just piled against me. And this is me hypothetically. But I said these things because you see a lot of poverty. You know, poverty is still real. It still is a circumstance, a reality for many people, black, white, whomever, Hispanic. And I think about the woman who is already a mother of 6 kids, and now she's pregnant with her 7th child, and she still is in poverty. She is still not doing well, and she's doing her best providing for her family, and let's do the whole stereotypical, the father's out the picture, and it's a rough start. So my argument back then was, well, she probably thinks, look, this life, this 7th life that is possibly going to come into this world is not going to have a great life. It's going to live in poverty. I can't provide for this child, and he or she's going to grow up and experience trauma like Boston Bay did. So let me just go ahead and do this child a favor. That was my mindset. And I'm laughing now because I said favor. But I'm laughing, because I said favor. That's why I'm laughing. But ultimately, that is what a lot of people may think if they are in a position where they did not choose to get pregnant, whether it's because of a sexual assault situation, or if they are in a poor financial state and they can't see themselves out of it, or they've been working hard but it hasn't really been paying off, things still haven't been aligning, and then, okay, I'm pregnant, okay, I really don't want to have another kid, I don't want to have another bill, okay, but it's about rewiring your mindset. You have to think about, first of all, going back, and this may sound judgmental, but I'm gonna say it. You have to be mindful of who you lay with. It goes back to what I'm saying earlier. If you are mindful of the niggas that you allow inside of you, and you may, in this hypothetical situation, you may have men who are not mature, who are not capable of providing and being a strong foundation for you and the children that you share with him, then why are we still sleeping? And I'm saying that with compassion. You know how I talk about, as a teacher, teachers would typically say, okay, you guys, we're going to find the textual evidence in this essay, when it's really about y'all kids are gonna I'm not doing this work. I may show you how to do it, but I don't need this grade. This is not for me. So yeah, I'm saying we with compassion to make it seem like we're in this togetherness, community. So why are we, knowing that he ain't shit, knowing that he's not a provider, that he hasn't been helping out at the house, and he hasn't been just been a foundation, a strong foundation for you and the children that you guys share together, you're gonna continue to have sex with him, continue to allow, it's one thing to have sex with somebody, and then you're having sex with somebody and you're allowing this person to just shoot up in you, just shoot up in you. And now you're in the same predicament that you were in 6 kids ago. something has to change, right? It's like this sounds so judgmental. I get it, but something, we have to go back to the root. Don't just go into the outcome. Well, if I'm pregnant, I'll go ahead and abort that kid. Let's not just go there. Let's start from the beginning. Why are you still finding yourself fucking men who ain't shit? Who still ain't shit, who have showed you a history of being ain't shit, who have showed you that they are unhealed, that they are immature, that they are incapable, or is it incapable? They're not able to provide for you. They're not able to support you. Why are you still allowing this person into your space, into your aura, into your punani? Huh? So it just goes back there. So if we go back to the roots, if we look into yourself, what is it about yourself that you feel like is not good enough, that you are allowing this ain't shit nigga to come inside of you yet again? Why don't you love yourself enough? Child, look, it really goes back there. It goes back there. So when I think about this heartbeat pill, you know, I think that this could, and it should, I hope that it could motivate women to be mindful of who they lay with. Because if you are not to say you're stuck with a child, but essentially you are stuck with a child without the support of your partner, who you was hoping would be a great partner for you, but there has been evidence in your relationship with him that shows that he is not well for you. He is unwell. He is an unwell man. Therefore, continue to be mindful, or start being mindful of, maybe I shouldn't have sex with him anymore. Maybe I should go back there. So heartbeat pill is definitely one of the bills that Abbott has passed. And then again, I think about, okay, well, sometimes men just switch up on you. Sometimes, or people just switch up on you. Look, I think ultimately people show you who they are. Whether it's, I think, no, I don't believe people switch up on you. I think there's evidence of them cracking from the facade of who they are. I think there's evidence of them showing that they are unable or ill-equipped from being this partner that you thought he could be. Let's get into Ready to Love real quick, because I'm using this as a reference. So Ready to Love, which is a show on OWN, go check it out, but the season is over, so just you can watch the season if you have the streaming app. But Ready to Love, there's a couple, well, they're not a couple anymore, but Venetia, who's in Aquarius, by the way. Shout out to her for being an Aquarius. No, I just love representation of Aquarius women, because we are complex, and we are very, is hardened the word that I want to use? Hardened, but hardened in a sense that we're not easy when it comes to expressing our romantic feelings. We don't just fall in love quick. We don't just love people quick. Like, it takes a while. You have to really show up and not show out, but you have to show up consistently. And there has to be some type of bond there for Aquarius women to feel comfortable and trusting in you to fall in love with you. And so I look at Venetia and I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Like, this is great. You know, I'm seeing an example of an Aquarius woman. And when we see someone, who we like, it's okay. I only see you. I can't. And that's how I've always been. Because I've had multiple guys talk to me at once, which is very funny. Whenever I would like someone really hard, random nigga from across the way want to come up to me and notice me. It's like, okay, where were you when I was single? Okay. But even if I would entertain or, let me just say hello and have a conversation, I would still not be in the mental headspace to even allow you to even get close to me, because my eggs are already in this basket. Like, there is no way. None. The door is closed. But seriously, the door is closed. So I get Vernisha when she saw Joel, or when they had their first day. I don't know what moment it was that really made her like him solely, because she didn't give anyone else really much a shot. She went on a date with Grandpa. I forgot his name, but that was the nickname that he was given, Grandpa. And Grandpa was just corny anyway. So even so, like, no one else was attractive enough, and I'm not saying just physically, but I'm talking emotionally, mentally, like. And with Aquarius women, like, this is a mental thing, really. Like, I have to be stimulated mentally, and if that's not there, I don't care how fine you are, the door is closed. Hello. So anyway, so Vernisha got really close with Joel and was fixated on him, and he was fixated on her. At least seemingly he was, until he turned out to be a fuck nigga, which I am still hurt. Finished watching the reunion episode, and I was like, wow, okay. It's that New Orleans accent. That's what it was. But anyway, there was a point in the season when there was an off-camera disagreement that they had over the phone, and Vernisha tells it on the camera, and she was like, just because we had one miscommunication, that means you just drop everything and go, basically, in few words, whatever. But she said that to him, and she said that because prior to that moment, the men, they come together, they have a deliberation, and Tommy, the host, he asked the men, okay, if you were to leave with one woman, who's the woman? And all the men answer. It goes down to Joel. Joel says, mind you, prior to this, because Tommy will ask us every week, and Joel will always say Vernisha. But at this point, Joel says a whole different name. Kyra. He says Kyra. And I'm like, nigga, what? And mind you, so when they had this disagreement, it was off camera. We did not see it. We didn't really know what happened in the disagreement. Like, what was this switch about? It really kind of threw everyone off. Even the men acted, in the room. So I'm watching that, and I'm also seeing Vernisha's reaction when she learns about that moment, and she tells him, why? So we have one disagreement. We have one disagreement over the phone, or whether it's 1, 2, or 3, this nigga, we had a disagreement over the phone, and you're quick to up and leave. You were quick to just go. Oh, why is that? So I bring this up because Joel, prior to that moment, I didn't see any red flags. I was like, okay, well, he seems to be really into her. He's not saying one thing and doing another. He's not saying the same thing to several women. It felt genuine. At least, and maybe it was for that moment, but when he showed his ass and picked Kyra and not Vernisha in that deliberation, it showed me a big ass red flag. It showed me, oh, this man is quick to drop his bags and go at any, whether it's an inconvenience, at any disagreement, at any argument. I should be able to have a conversation with you, and we may not come to the same page, to the same terms, but we're still together. Like, I shouldn't have to feel like we're not together at the end of this quote unquote argument, at the end of this conversation that didn't share the same thought patterns. Like, we should still be able to be together. We should. And that brings me to different moments in my dating history when I've had disagreements with men and the relationship was over. Like the relationship was over literally at that point. Like as soon as the disagreement ended, like as soon as that argument, conversation, however you want to describe it, ended, the relationship ended at the same time. It was over. And I think to myself, nigga, what? Like, we can't just disagree on something and move forward. We can't disagree. And I hate that term. We can't disagree. We can't, let's agree to disagree. No, I don't want to do that. We don't have to agree at all. We don't have to agree at all. We could just move on. We could just move on from this topic and circle back if we need to. But I remember having... That's a whole different conversation, but I hate that phrase. Let's agree to disagree. Shut the fuck up. Let's not. I'm saying that with such angst right now because it reminds me of a conversation I had with someone a while ago. And she, like, there was this like push for me to agree with a position that she had on this topic. And I just was not agreeing. I was like, no. But at the end, she's like, okay, let's just agree to disagree. Like, she just wanted me to agree on something. And I'm just like, I don't want to agree to disagree either. Either way, I don't want to do it. But anyway, go back to Joelle and Bernicia. That is a red flag to me. Because like I said, I've been there where as soon as you have an uncomfortable moment with the person who you're dating, now you want to walk away? Like, we will not continue, but we will have moments when we may not agree on everything. And that's okay. We shouldn't agree on everything. I don't want you to be my mirror. I don't want you to be my twin, a carbon copy of me. Have your own opinion and decide from there. So, yeah. Joelle and Bernie. So, the history of that, I brought that up because, this is why I brought it up. I brought it up because when you are intimate with someone, prior to getting sexually, specifically, when you are sexually intimate with someone, you have to think about, sometimes they will, not all the time, you will see, if you're paying attention, if you're obtuse, then you're just obtuse and you gotta grow and figure out, why am I so obtuse? Why am I not aware of anything? You gotta fix that within yourself. But let's assume that you're not obtuse. Let's assume that you are someone who is very aware of things. You're in tune with yourself. You are smart. You're emotionally intelligent. Let's assume all these great character traits. And you are with someone, you're dating someone, and you haven't picked up on a few things, and something is wrong. You have to pick up on a few things and realize, okay, this is the type of person this person is. This is the type of man he is. Do I want this man inside of me? Like, sexually, physically inside of me. Do I want him inside of me? So it goes back again to the origin of things. Before we even get to the outcome, before we get to, okay, well, I'm pregnant, I'm gonna go ahead and get this abortion. Let's get to, let's walk a few steps backwards. And of course, we can't go back in time. You're pregnant, and do what's best for you. This is your choice, your body, and I still stand for that. But I want us to, before we even get to that point, let's be mindful of who we lay with and who we allow in our space. I remember this guy I dated. Y'all remember Houston? I forgot. What was his real name? Hold on. I call these guys all these like terms. I forgot. Oh, okay, I remember his real name. Okay, I'm not gonna say it, of course, but I do remember his name. But Houston nigga was the name I gave him on the podcast. And we had, what did we argue about? It was something. Okay, so I felt like he wasn't intimate with me. Like, he wasn't emotionally intimate, as far as like I felt like there was this closedness with him. Like, there was this like, he wasn't really himself. I felt like he just wasn't as open with me as he could be, as I wanted him to be. And it just wasn't enough. Whatever he was doing, it wasn't enough for me. It wasn't enough. Like, nigga, what's going on? And I brought it up, and he spazzed out. It's like, Max, I'm doing everything. What did he say? I'm doing everything. I'm being as open as I can be. And if you're not happy with it, then we can just end it right now and blah, blah. Like, huh? I'm sorry, what? How do we can just end it right now. We can just go and end it right now because I'm letting you know, hey, I want you to be more open with me. I want us to be closer. I want us to grow more emotionally with each other. And you're so quick to be, one, in denial of that. Not even allow yourself to be introspective. Not even allow yourself to sit or even ask, hey, can you share with me examples of how I'm not showing that? Because I think I'm doing, I thought I was being as open as I could be. And like none of that was at all something that he said. None of that came out of his mouth. It was more so of, it was only, I am, and if that's not enough for you, then we could just end it here. Okay. Okay, we can just end it here, nigga. What the fuck? Bye. I'm not gonna go out. I'm not gonna go run in the rain. No. You wanna leave it here? We could go. That was it. What I did say though, as well as that, in few words, I just said, that's, I don't know why you're so quick to jump to that, but if you feel that's best, then it is what, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. But what bothers me about that is exactly what I said before. Sometimes men can be so quick to up and go at any inconvenience. And yes, of course, I'm thankful that ended, because when I think about that relationship, or it wasn't even a relationship, it was a dating situationship that I had with someone who I was just seeing for 3 months. Okay, let's be very clear. But what we had, it was very, there was a lot of annoying moments that I picked up on internally, because I'm catching these things. I'm catching the fact that when I would express myself and do like a gesture, when I would be funny and I'm like reenacting something and my facial expressions like is really into it. And it may not be as attractive, I guess, to some people or to him in particular, because I remember I was doing a face because I was acting something. I don't know what I was doing. I was just in my zone. I'm just being me. I'm being Maxine. And I was doing like a face. And he said, don't do that face again. Don't do that face again. Don't ever do that face again. And he says, I remember doing it again one other time because I'm just being me, right? I'm not thinking I'm gonna do a face, right? But I was doing another facial reaction, and he said, "What did I tell you about doing that face again?" Yo, I kid you not. He really said that to me, and I'm sitting in his car in the passenger side, thinking to myself, is something wrong with my face? Is something wrong with my face? He doesn't like it. He doesn't like my face, period. Like he doesn't like when I do my face like this or this, like something's wrong with my face. But yeah, so I say all that to say I'm glad that relationship ended, of course. But there were definitely many moments throughout the 3 months that we dated, that we were seeing each other, when I could have been like, yeah, I don't want you inside of me. Or yeah, when, we're not in alignment. We're not meshing well. We have differences, and you are who you are. I am who I am. And us being who we are together doesn't work. So let's go ahead and end it and move forward with other people. But me bringing that part up though is like, say if I did really like him, or like if it really, cause I did like him, but I didn't like him enough to really fight for it. Really, it was a doorway. So when he said that, it was my doorway to be like, okay, well, let's go ahead and end it. we could go ahead and go. But what bothers me about that though, just overall, just in general, is we have to be in a relationship that allows for discomfort to happen sometimes, not all the time. If you're always uncomfortable with your mate, if you're always uncomfortable with your mate and you guys are always butting heads, and that is a problem, you probably should end that. But if you are in a healthy relationship and you sometimes come into a point of contention, because not even contention, but there's just a disagreement. We should work, like we could talk it out. We could talk it out and then go out for dinner. Like it doesn't have to be a big deal. And that's just a red flag. So when we're in relationships with people and we can't get through a hard time, then that's a red flag for me. So anyway, the heartbeat pill has been passed. I say all that to say the heartbeat pill has been passed, and this prohibits abortions in Texas as early as 6 weeks. One more bill I want to talk about real quick. Okay, so the alcohol to go bill has been extended, and it continues to be a thing. It started when the pandemic began, and this bill is it allows restaurants to sell booze with pickup and delivery orders. So that's pretty cool. We could, drive drunk. It's like, no, that's totally not funny. But I'm saying that's funny because Texas is just, look, don't kill your babies. I saw another bill. What was it? It was a bill that talked about you could carry in Texas and not have to have a license and not have to have training. Now, nigga, what the fuck? But again, freedom. I'm here for freedom. So I'm just happy I'm in Texas, to be honest with you. Oh, there's another one. The vaccine passport bill has been banned. And I'm really happy about that because although there isn't necessarily a vaccine passport, like a tangible one, but this has been a talk for a while, ever since COVID began. And it really made me uncomfortable because I'm thinking about, well, am I now going to be prohibited from going on, to the airport? Am I going to be prohibited from going to different places? And it's because I need to have this specific passport that says I am vaccinated for the COVID-19 virus. And that bothered me because, again, my freedom is now impeded. Is impeded the right word? It's restricted. I'm restricted from doing something because now you think you have the right to medicate me, to take this vaccination when I, as a human being with my civil rights, with my rights in general, can choose to not take this vaccine. And what's great about this law is that it bans businesses in Texas from requiring so-called vaccine passports or any vaccine information from either their employees or their customers. So basically anyone in a business. So that also includes schools. So I really appreciate that. But I also think that could be added into, because when you were growing up, there were certain vaccines you had to take before you could even be enrolled or accepted into a school. So I don't know if COVID-19 may be one of those vaccines now. But I do like this passport. I do like this ban, and I am grateful. So, because I noticed that in New York, from the vlogs that I will watch, there are people in front of buildings. Before you enter the building, you have to show your vax card. You have to show that you have a vax and you could enter in this building. I don't know if that's only for, it's only for if you, whether you, because I'm thinking, maybe that's only done because you may want to go in the building and not have to wear your mask. But whether you say, hey, I could still wear my mask, there is still not allowed, and you still have to be vaccinated to enter certain establishments, because they will really stand by the door like bouncers, show your ID, show your vax card. And I hate that shit. I really hate that shit because it makes people uncomfortable, and you don't need to know my health business. And it's not putting you at, because the argument is, well, what about the well-being of other people around you? You're wearing a mask to help your brother, to help your sister, the proverbial brother or sister. No, you're not. No, you're fucking not. First of all, if you're vaccinated, you're good, right? You should be good. So whether I'm vaccinated or not, whether I'm wearing this mask in front of you or not, you're still vaccinated. So this vaccination has been propped up to make it seem like it is a strong barrier against the vaccine, against the virus. So yes, there are cases that I've heard of people who have been vaccinated but have still gotten COVID. But I also heard that it is no longer a possible death case if you have the virus while already being now vaccinated. So regardless, you're safe, right? So it really shouldn't matter. Again, it's about personal choice. It's about preference. It's about your freedom to do what you so choose to be the best option for you and your body. And that is what I am for. So, and I'm just not in support of businesses restricting any attendance because you're not vaccinated. It's really bullshit. So I'm grateful to be living in Texas. Hello. Okay. Haiti. Hey. IET. Where do we go? Okay, for those who may not be familiar, Haiti's Haiti's president Jovenel Moises was assassinated like 24 style. You know that show 24? I never watched it, but I heard it's this moment is similar to different scenes, and it's very scandal. I love that show when it was on. But anyway, Jovenel Moises, who was the Haitian president for a while, apparently he was the president beyond his term, and this clearly set a lot of people off. And what's amazing about Haiti is that Haiti is a land that has people who are vocal, who are strong, and who are passionate about their beliefs and their rights and their freedom and all these things, and they speak up and they speak out. But what's unfortunate about that is that Haiti is not a democracy. It is not a land that allows for you to speak up and speak out and be safe and go home safely and alive to your family after doing so. If I was in Haiti right now with this podcast talking all this stuff, I don't know if my safety will be totally protected. And that's all I'm saying. And it's this land, this is the land of my ancestors, this is the land of my parents. It harbors a history of oppression, and it harbors a history of heroic resistance. And though our history is rich, like we have a richness to our culture, to our economy, and yet the imagery and what seems to be the case now and has been the case for a while is there is this deterioration of the land. There is just a lack there. And it's uncomfortable for me to talk about it because I remember having a conversation with my mom just a few days ago about what happened. And my mom was really sad about it. She was like, when she heard about it, she was really, really sad about it. And she was saying how she's so thankful that she lives in America now. But even her saying that to me, and I understand the gratitude behind that statement, it made me sad. It made me sad because the last time my mom's been in Haiti was when I was 2 years old. Okay, so that's 28 years ago. And she felt so grateful to be in America because of just all of the chaos and the lack of peace that's in the land, that's in her homeland. So just imagine being born into a land, and this land is your home. This land is mine. That's in my head right now. But this land is your home, and now you're so grateful to not be there anymore. That is sad. That is really sad to even listen to. And I don't know where to begin with this topic because I don't know where this goes. There's always something up. It's always something. It's like, I don't know. I'm mad at the U.S. and then I'm mad at the Haitians. I'm mad I'm mad at the politics and the corruption that is said to be there from the elites in Haiti. And I'm mad at the many years that the U.S. have put Haiti in poverty. I'm mad at France, but I want to visit Paris. Like, I'm mad at so many different factors here, and I don't know where it goes. So Moise was shot dead in his home. He was shot dead in his home, and his wife was shot, but I thought she was pronounced dead, but now I'm hearing that she's not dead. She's in Florida, I believe, and she's in the hospital and she's alive. But so many new reports have been out, and the latest that I've heard is now the mercenaries who are responsible for this assassination include 17 men, several of whom are Colombian. Because remember, the report said something about that these men were speaking Spanish during this operation. So many of them are Colombian, and they were sent on a mission. Basically, they were sent on a mission as mercenaries to complete this task, and so they did. And it's look, whether or not you agree with Moises' political stance and his positioning and what he did on the land, the type of man he was, the caliber of who he was. Apparently he wasn't a great guy. He was corrupt too. And at this point, you have to be corrupt to be in the politics, right? I don't see any other way. But apparently he was all of these things, and he had many enemies. So this could have just been something that was supposed to happen. It still is sad because I think about just more chaos that is happening in Haiti, and I want us to get to a place of peace. I want us to be, I want Haiti to be a land that allows for resistance to happen, but people aren't getting killed and shot in the head for it. Apparently, when protesting was happening, Moises was setting up attacks against protesters and having them shot in the head. There's been cases of that taking place. And I think about just how awful is that? How awful, like, your freedom, your personal right, your freedom is now taken away from you, and you protesting should be your right, even though it's said as if it should be, but it's not your right, because you may get killed for even daring to share an opposing thought. America is a place where you can protest and not get killed for it, at least not blatantly. I know police brutality. What about the protesters? What about Antifa? I get all these things, but for the most part, America is a land where you can have your right to say whatever the fuck you want. I could talk about China all day long and not get killed for it. But if I was in China doing that, there'll be a knock on my door as soon as this recording is happening. Like, there will be a knock on my door. So China's another land that is similar to that when it comes to resistance and speaking up for yourself. You have to be in line. So it just pains me. This is sad. I want to go back to Haiti. And I'm saying back because the last time I was there I was 2. So yes, it counts, but I don't remember it. Aside from the stories that I hear that my mom tells me. And I would love to experience Haiti as an adult, as the adult that I am. And it's just sad that it just feels like I can't have that experience, at least not yet. It just has to be, I want to be safe, because again, I hear stories of just, there's a lot of fear mongering that may be valid, but it may also not be as valid. I hear that as the American that I am, because I was born in the States, so I am an American, nationality-wise, but I hear that if you look too American, you may possibly be at risk of getting hurt, kidnapped, killed, whatever the case is, because the stereotype for Americans is that you have money. You have money. You got an iPhone. You look like you have money. When, child, okay, thank you, but don't kill me for that. So that is that on Haiti. I don't want to keep on speaking on it because it's a sore topic, and it speaks to my mom, my dad, and I feel pain when I hear people talk in pain. So when I was hearing my mom talk about just a sadness that she was feeling after hearing this news, it really pained me to feel that. So I don't want to get into it too much, but like everyone said, keep hating in your prayers. Let's get into what other topic I want to get into. Okay, I'm gonna play this clip from Real Housewives of Potomac, which is coming out soon. I'm gonna play this clip and then we're gonna talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Earlier this month, Candace claimed that Ashley doesn't receive the same backlash that she gets from fans because Ashley is of a lighter complexion. Do you think that was a reasonable statement or shady?
It was stupid.
Okay.
It was stupid. It was shady. I'll tell you why. Who gets the most shade? Who gets the most backlash? Who gets the most hateration? This girl or this girl? And Ashley. Ashley.
Ashley spent 3 seasons being dragged by the fans, and the only reason why maybe recently Ashley has fell into better favor of the fans is I think we got to see a different side of her as a mother.
Yes.
And so I think people have short memories. Candace's memory is a little short, but Ashley has definitely paid her dues.
And if we're just going to talk about Candace and Ashley does not say half the things Candace says. Okay.
All right, now I share that clip. This is from the reality show Real Housewives of Potomac, which I'm a fan of, as well as all the Real Housewives show on Bravo. Please, this is for men too. So don't turn me off yet. Wait until the end. No, I play that because look, typically I am not I'm not in the side, not on the stands. I'm not at all in the position that is in support of whatever light-skinned black women are saying. Let's start there. I am never on the side. That's so funny. No, but I'm really not. Remember the whole Meghan Markle situation? It's so, bitch, you're not even black. Oh, but it's light-skinned, like, okay, and you're not even black. Let's just start there. I don't want to hear the struggles of being too light, of not fitting in, of have you ever been called a darkie before? You know what I mean? Like, have you ever been called so black that you can't see the person anymore? No? So shut the fuck up. Don't talk to me about your light-skinned ass ambiguous feelings and unsure. Have you been called a darkie? Hello? Is this thing on? Have you been called? Oh, you haven't? You haven't been called a darkie? Oh, you haven't been called, oh, I can't even see you because you so dark? Oh, you haven't been called tar baby? Oh, you haven't been called ugly because you're dark skinned? Oh, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me about your strife. Don't talk to me about any struggle that you've had as being a light-skinned black girl. Let's start there, okay? So I'm just starting there. New point begins now. The new point that I'm making is these two women. So the women who are speaking, aside from the host, the interviewer, is Giselle and Robin. Giselle and Robin are housewives of Potomac. And these two women they're called the green-eyed bandits. This is what we affectionately call them according to social media. And they're super light-skinned, like white. They're white. And I remember in the earlier seasons, one of the castmates asked, oh, what's your background? What's your ethnicity? And she's like, I'm black. And she was so defensive with it because this goes to their whole, I don't know if I'm black. They don't accept me here. I'm black. So they're getting so defensive because they're black. And come to find out, seasons later, she definitely had white people in her ancestry. Like, not even in her. Like, when people say ancestry, they're talking about, like, my forefather. No, nigga, your uncle. Your uncle is a white man. Your mom actually is a white woman. Your sisters are white. You just happen to turn out a shade darker, and you're not even that dark. So let's just go there. But they were questioned of their blackness. And they're super light skinned. And they have green eyes. Both of them have green eyes. They're unrelated, but they are close friends on the show. And they are speaking on a comment that Candace said a while ago, that Candace is she's another black woman, but she is a brown skinned black woman. And she is comparing how she's being treated to how Ashley, another castmate on the show, has been treated on the show. And Ashley is another light-skinned black girl on the, there's a lot of light-skinned black women on this show. Yet I still like it. I really do like the show. It's very entertaining, all the jazz. But Ashley is another light-skinned a light-skinned white woman. She really is white, though. I think she actually is half white. Her mother's white, or she looked like she could be white. But she is another light-skinned black woman on the show. And throughout the show, she has been very problematic, to say the least. She has started fights, instigated. She has been very, very chaotic throughout the seasons. And she has been held to the fire for that. She has been called out for her poor behavior. Like, there has been no difference in how people react to Ashley in comparison to how people react to Candace. Candace is another firecracker who is actually, I would say, worse, because she was the reason why Monique left the show. Monique is the black woman on the show who is brown skinned, and she left the show after an altercation that she had with Candace, in which Candace instigated. Candace was the reason why Monique decided to pop that ass, rightfully so. And what bothers me about Candace's comment that she's being treated differently because she's darker skinned and Ashley's lighter skin is that she is pulling this colorism card when it has no bound here. It really doesn't. Candace, you are being held to the fire because you deserve to be held to the fire. And Ashley has been held to the fire when she deserves to be held to the fire. There has not been a difference in how we held both of you guys to the fire. Both of y'all got it. Both of y'all. And Candace, you got it even more, because Candace, I would say she got it even more from my perspective, because I really just didn't like Candace. Like, I like Ashley. Like, I think Ashley she evolved. She has grown throughout the seasons. And that's what I appreciate with different shows, is that you're not the same person you were season 1 come season 5. You should grow, you should evolve. Yet with Candace, she continues to be this entitled, this selfish, this rude, this unaccounted black woman who is a wife, yet she is just her values are so fucked up. It's really strange. So I just don't like her character. And a lot of people feel the same way. These are shared feelings. Yet Candace refuses to be introspective, refuses to take responsibility, and believes it's just, colorism, when colorism has nothing to do here. And that's what bothers me about people who pull the race card and the colorism card. It bothers me when it's done frivolously, when it's done with no actual real support. Like, you have no evidence of this. You're just pulling this race card, you're pulling this colorist card because it's convenient for you, because it removes you from having any responsibility and it allows for the other person to continue to look bad in your eyes, and now you want more support because, oh, it's because I'm this black girl, because I'm this darker skinned black girl, when no, in this situation, girl, you are just a real bitch. You really are just a real bitch, and you deserve all the heat that's coming to you. And this has nothing to do with you not being light enough. Like this and that's really, like, there are black women who've been, dark-skinned black women who've been through some shit, okay? And we're not at all pulling the card of it's because I'm dark-skinned, when in times it's done because no, I was a bitch here. Like I was, I don't think I painted that correctly, but what I'm saying is all of the history that a lot of dark-skinned girls have gone through because of colorist people that have really shaped our experience and our appearance, our perspective on our appearance throughout the years. And when someone who is of the same dark-skinned black girl community, when someone uses the colorism card and they use it disingenuously, it really sets a horrible tone, and it disproves, or it discounts, that's what it discounts the real experiences of dark-skinned black women who have been through colorism in genuine experiences. When this dark-skinned black, when Candace, she hasn't, like, girl, in this experience, this is not real. You're lying. You're pulling this colorism card because you think it's a good card to put down, but no, you're still just not taking responsibility for your poor behavior. Okay, and that's that on that. That's all I want to say. I'm looking forward to the new season. Hey, I'm excited to watch it. The U.S. is pushing to loose restrictions for weed in the Olympics. Oh, how convenient. How convenient. I'm going to pull this article real quick that I saw on Twitter. The U.S. is pushing to loosen restrictions on the use of marijuana by athletes. So the White House is seeking a meeting with the World Anti-Doping Agency to discuss the matter after American star athlete Safaree Richardson was suspended from the Tokyo Olympics after testing positive for marijuana. So that's very, that's a good step moving forward, right? I'm glad to see that this rule, as archaic as it is, I'm glad to see that it is possibly being revised. But I'm wondering, though, is this done genuinely or is it not? I'm wondering, is this just done because the U.S. want to be the winner here in the Olympics, and they saw Safaree Richardson as the one who could pull the win on behalf of America? And either way, it is a step moving forward, and hopefully this can revise the policies behind marijuana when it comes to athletics. I'm happy about this. This is good news. I wonder if this can allow Safaree to get back into the Olympics. I don't know. Or is everything too late? Is there a deadline? What's really real? Nothing's real. That's the end of that. But that's good news. I'm glad to hear that. But sometimes when we think about marijuana, there's this idea that this may be a slippery slope. Democrats, or not the Republicans, I forgot which position, would say that marijuana is a gateway drug. And what am I gonna say, y'all? I think it is. Shit, maybe I am a Republican. No, I don't. Look, I think it can be. That's what it is. I think it can be. I think, yes, of course, there are people who engage in marijuana who only do that and are not interested in anything else and are not dabbling in anything else. They're only into that. Absolutely. And I also think there are people who are this is how I feel with weed. Okay, I want to know how I feel with cocaine. Oh, I want to know how I feel with PCP. I want to know how I feel with Molly. They go down this rabbit hole. And I think that's with anything though. But you start off with weed because weed is the start off drug. It is a start off. Like, you don't start off with crack. What? Nigga, what have you been through? You started off with crack? No, you start off with something light. Weed is something light. And then it may lead you down a whole world of drugs. So I do believe that weed can be a gateway drug. And I wonder with this possible revision in the Olympics policies, that this will open the door for other drugs to be non-restrictive. I don't know. I don't think so. Who knows? Because marijuana is not a hard drug. So if we go to a soft drug like marijuana to now hard drugs being possibly restricted from athletics in general, that is not okay. And it makes me remember the conversation that I had a while ago about Dr. Carl Hart, that black man with the dreads who I posted. He was the actual the picture of the podcast episode at that time when I released the episode. So if you want to go back, look for a picture of a black man with gray dreads, gray locks in his hair. It's Dr. Carl Hart. That's him. And his fame has came to be because he is a strong user of heroin, cocaine. Those are the two that I do know that he uses regularly and comfortably, and he defends it. And he says that these hard drugs, make him a better husband, a better father, a better person in general. And I don't want us to become a society that pushes this hard drug glamorization. Well, we already have it enough in music. Of course, music obviously glamorizes different behavior that is not ideal, that is not what your parents may want for you. Of course, your parents don't want for you to be a weed head or crackhead or whatever. But I just wonder how far will they go? Would they switch it up and say, you know what, and not now, but maybe 10, 20 years from now, hard drugs aren't considered hard anymore. Hard drugs are now encouraged in sports, and next thing you know, you can have a drink while at work, and you can go ahead and smoke a little off the clock and still be on the clock. Look, it goes down a whole rabbit hole, and it may not even go that far. I just think that far. I like to think a little bit ahead to circumvent what could possibly be. So you may be listening, you're being dramatic, it's just weed. Yeah, it could very well just be weed, and that's cool, and I'm for it. And I do wonder, how far can this go? So let's just, talk about that. Let's end off with Safaree and Erica Mena. Child, okay, I don't watch Love and Hip Hop anymore. I've been stopped watching that show. I feel like I'm about to say I've been stopped watching that shit. Mad aggressive. No. I've been stopped watching that show. I did. I've definitely stopped because I just got tired of it. Was just, as soon as I finished one Love and Hip Hop, there was this season's over, but there's a Love and Hip Hop Tallahassee coming out. Like, oh my, I felt like I had to keep up with so many different Love and Hip Hops, and I got tired of it. Like, damn, how many Love and Hip Hops are there? So I didn't want to keep it on. And I just ended up not watching at all, period. All of the franchises for Love and Hip Hop, I've stopped watching. But I do remember when I would watch, Safaree and Erica Mena, they were starting to get together. Like, it was the beginning of their relationship, and I didn't watch the journey of their relationship into their now marriage, but they may actually get a divorce. I didn't watch those parts yet, or period. I didn't watch that. But I would see updates of it through social media, through the Wendy Williams show. So I would see updates of it, and I remember Erica Mena being just this batshit crazy woman. Just crazy. Was she Puerto Rican? Puerto Rican mommy, like just crazy. She was crazy just from the beginning. Just very just loud, irrational, very like just too much. And you would see her being the perpetrator in the arguments and the relationships that she would have with the people she were in relationships with. So she is married to Safaree. Safaree, y'all know him as Nicki Minaj's ex-hype man, ex-man. And he has his own name for himself since he's been on Love and Hip Hop. He is this Jamaican Rastafari without the locks, though. But he is a proud Jamaican. I think he actually released a single, and he released a dick pic a while ago. I didn't look at it, but I heard it's big. I heard it's big. So, but yeah, so he's the Jamaican me crazy. You know, he's that nigga. So they have a tumultuous relationship, and so much so that Erica filed for divorce, and prior to them filing for divorce, they had gotten pregnant for the second time because they already have one child together, and they have another one. Now, okay. Okay, but so the second child has been born, but has been born with complications, and the child is in the ICU. So Erica is in the room with the child. And prior to this, though, when she was pregnant with the second child, Erica said that she does not want Safaree because they were still in tumultuous land. She said that she does not want him in the delivery room. She doesn't want him in the hospital. She's setting up documents to arrange for that to happen. She has made that very clear. And she already filed for divorce. Okay, so I'm just painting the picture. Safaree has allegedly fought against that, or tried to, but obviously didn't win because the courts favor the mother. You know, whether they should or not, they always do, for the most part, at least. Unless the mother's a crackhead. Halle Berry from, what's that movie? Losing Isaiah. Okay, unless you lost Isaiah because you're a crackhead, and even then they gave it back to her towards the end, though, right? You gotta be an active crackhead mother to lose your child, because other than that, you will always have your kid, no matter how emotionally unstable you may be. Because I think Erica Mena is emotionally unstable. No matter how much of a better fit the father is than you are to have sole custody. It's one thing to have custody, but like to only have custody and the father can't see the child at all, that's not okay. But again, the courts favor the mother. And unless you're Halle Berry and Losing Isaiah, that shit, you will have your child. So Safaree didn't win the case because he was trying to fight to be able to be in the room as she delivered their second child. So I'm saying all this to say that they are not well. They're not well together. They are not happy in their relationship. There have been motions set in place to separate the two. And now there's a lot of backlash against Safaree because he is allegedly, according to the clips that we're seeing, he is in Jamaica right now dancing. And, you know, he's a dancer. He is a Jamaican, so he's a dancer. That's the title of the episode. He's a Jamaican, so he's a dancer. Okay, got it. And that's another topic. Remember how I said earlier in the episode, don't have sex with men who, you know, if you're a woman, don't have sex with men who are unhealed little boys, you know, still operating from that 12-year-old mindset. Also, don't have sex with Jamaicans. Don't have sex with Jamaicans as well. Jamaican men. I'm not even talking about Jamaican women. I don't know about them. I'm not gay. Don't have sex with Jamaican men. I'm gonna leave it at that. Okay, Boston Bay is Jamaican. That's the end. Dropping the mic now. Don't have sex with Jamaican men. When I tell you crazy, maybe that whole line, I don't know. Don't even go to Jamaica at this point. you say, oh, so what's your background? Oh, I'm Jamaican. Oh, okay. I gotta go. I remember when I went on one date with this Jamaican guy here in Houston. I met him through an online dating app. And this was a long time ago. Shit, it was probably early 2019. And we went on this date. I'm talking hella shit about Jamaican food. I'm like, their rice is sticky. I don't like sticky rice. I like my rice grainy. Haitians know how to cook rice. Just talking shit on his culture. And then he reveals that he's Jamaican. He's like, oh, I'm Jamaican. I'm like, oh, okay, you're Jamaican? Like Jamaican. He's like, yeah, I'm Jamaican. Okay. Houston nigga. The guy who I was just talking about before, how he didn't like my facial reactions. He's Jamaican. I think it's Jamaican. He actually was born and raised in Jamaica. Crazy, like, just don't have sex with Jamaican men. Look, that's all you need to know. That's it. That's enough. I went through it, so y'all don't have to go through it. Jay-Z, what's up? So going back to Safaree, a Jamaican man. He is dancing. He's whining, Rastafarian. He's boom boom me, chakalaka, whatever. Okay, he's having a good time. A good time in Jamaica right now. Allegedly. I don't know if it's right now or last week, but the clips are coming out right now. And he is having a time of his life. I'm laughing because it's so funny. It's actually not, but it's funny. I laugh for anything. Or not anything, but like I like to laugh. Okay, I like to fucking laugh. He's dancing. He's laughing because I'm thinking about. I wish I could play the video and like you guys could see it at the same time. But no, there's this video. Maybe just Google it. Safaree, and he's dancing. Y'all want to start crying. He's like, you know how Jamaicans dance, and like he's doing a specific Jamaican dance. You know how Africans have their dances? They'll do that whole like they'll raise their arm and then raise it back and then wave it back down, and they'll raise their arm and they'll wave it back down. Right? That's the African dance. Jamaicans, they have this like leg thing. They'll kick their leg out and they'll do this hip grind while they're dancing. That's a Jamaican dance. And of course there's a Jamaican wine. There's the wine. You gotta wine your hips. You know what? Look, I went to college, okay? Okay, I have my share of wine. A bitch can wine. It's just been a while. I'm 30 now. I'm 30. But so he's doing these dance moves. So he's moving his leg, y'all, and he's so into the dance move. And then there's this other image right next to that dancing video of him. There's this image of Erica Mena holding her baby in the ICU, crying. I'm sick. Something is wrong with me. I'm not well. I am unwell. But this is just so funny because the contrast. I'm laughing at the contrast. I'm not laughing at her kid, of course, being in the ICU. I wish their baby well, but the contrast is hilarious. Like, you have one video of the baby daddy, Safaree, dancing his life away, sweating, he's grinding his leg out, and then you have the next video of Erica Mena rocking her baby who's in the ICU. That is horrible. Okay, let me just like wrap this up. But so there's that video is out and about, and again, you can find it. Just type Safaree. and Erica Mena, and you'll see this image of two videos put into one. So on one side is Erica Mena rocking with her ICU baby, and on the other side is Safaree dancing his life away. I bring this up because there is a lot of backlash against him because he's living, he's lifing. That's what it is. He's lifing, okay? And the argument is, well, he shouldn't be doing that. If your kid is in the ICU, you should be there. And what interests me about this whole conversation is that Erica doesn't want him there. Like, she made it a point to not have him there. She has made the necessary steps to ensure that he does not step foot in the hospital. Never mind the delivery room. Never mind the ICU room. She did not want him there. She made that very clear. And she does not want him anymore. Like, she has fought with him as long as they have. She filed for divorce, and it's just, she's done these things that has made it very clear and obvious that she does not want this marriage anymore. Safaree has gone online and said him getting married to her has been the worst mistakes of his life. Like, it's been a really shitty a marriage. And so he should be in the parking lot ensuring that the kid, just finding any way to get... What the fuck can Safaree do? I'm sorry. Is he gonna dirty wine? Is he gonna dirty wine in the ICU room? There's not, like... And I'm saying this to say that it doesn't... I don't see what the issue is necessarily. Sure, the optics may not look the best, but people grieve, people cope differently, and not every man is as emotionally intelligent. Not to say he's not intelligent emotionally, but it's just that we grieve, we cope, we just go through feelings differently, and this may be his way of release. Maybe he was doing his best to get into the room, to check up on their child, and he continues to experience pushback. But like, what more can he do? She has made everything clear. She has taken the steps necessary to prohibit him from being a part of this experience in the hospital. So what are y'all saying that he needs to do again? Like, what can you do? So I'm thinking about also, again, I promise I'm going to wrap it up, but I'm thinking about also the argument of when you are a father and the child that you have who you don't have custody of because the mother and you are no longer together, and you may have a tumultuous relationship with her, and she has filed child support against you, leaving you to having to pay whatever amount it is at whatever point you have to pay it. And oftentimes mothers who are jaded, mothers who are bitter, mothers who are still hurt because of the demise of the relationship that you've had with the mother, they will do everything they can to ensure you don't have a relationship with the child that you have shared with this mother. Like, unfortunately, there are really wicked women out here, wicked mothers out here who will not allow the father of their child to have a relationship with their child. And yet I'm seeing people still say, well, the father he should go to court. He should make sure legally that the mother doesn't have the right to take away your relationship with... Hello? Did you hear what I said earlier? Unless the mother is an active crack user, that's not going to work. That's it. It doesn't matter how emotionally unstable she may be, how whacked up in the head she may be. If she is not an active crack user, that's not going to happen. The father will remain to be in the distance while the mother will have sole custody. And it's a shitty system. The whole system is fucked up. So we gotta go there. But to immediately blame the father and the man, so I could pick me. Oh, you just wanna be a pick me? No, it's not really it. It's just we have to look at the situation in its fullness. In this case, Erica Mena has created every opportunity for Safaree to not be a part of this birthing experience. Okay, what can Safaree do but go to Jamaica and shake his ass? Like, what? There's nothing else to be done. There's nothing else to be done, okay? So that's my take on it. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. If you would like some more content of God Built This podcast, please check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/GodBuiltThis, where you will gain access to exclusive episodes, and you'll just pick whichever tier works best for you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of God Built This podcast with your host, Maxine. Be sure to leave a review, give me 5 stars, and of course, subscribe. Also, follow God Built This podcast on Instagram at God Built This Pod. God bless.